What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and I'm going to be going through the MLB slate for the 12:30 start time. It's 11:30 right now. I should be done in about a half an hour and be able to post this up. Unfortunately, I was unable to go live due to some technical difficulties, but we'll definitely get this done and post this. Okay, so there is a little bit of weather concern in St. Louis, Cincinnati. So I think the first thing I want to do is go and check Roth to see what the weather outlook is. Let's see, TFS, MLB weather. Still yellow orange and Minnesota Cleveland yellow orange. So both of those games are at risk. So I guess the first thing I would want to do is I guess the first thing I'd want to do is to see what I would get without like doing any funny business. In other words, like see if these are stacks that I would probably want to get to anyway. Um, and then decide whether I want to block them out. So let's just take a look. First of all, let's upload our lineups here. So then we will upload our projections and just see what we get here. Let's build 5,000 lineups. Before we do that, we're gonna do what Adam likes to do, and we're gonna pre-select the stacks that we want we uh, before we even build. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's put in the five mans, five twos, and five threes. And that's really all we're going to want. We're going to put in a minimum salary of 49,000. And again, this is just something that I've experimented with. Just to, even though SaberSim sometimes gives you the 49,000 minimum on some slates, sometimes it gives you the 48,000. So we're going to go minimum 49,000. And I'm very curious to see what I would get. I literally didn't even look to see who projected well. Let's take a look at that actually. Let's not do that. So one toggle that I noticed on Saber Sim was the ability to automatically run the sims after you do your lineup build. So it just saves you a click or two here. And it's already kind of annoying because you have you it looked like I was getting a bunch of Cardinals. Let's take a look. So team stacks. Yeah, so St. Louis, I'd get 30% of that without adjusting for anything. If in fact I didn't adjust for the weather. So it's actually a decision that you kind of have to make here. And it's also a 12:40 start, so there's no getting around it. So here is what here is my philosophy. My philosophy is that you're supposed to X this out. Because yeah, okay, if they play, it rates to be a good stack, but it also rates to be really high owned. And I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do in this situation. I think I'm just going to exit out. Ugh. And Minnesota, Cleveland also. I mean, such a short slate. I mean, if I X these out, you're really, really giving up a bit. Let's look at his forecast a little bit more. Lowering it, might get a window here. It's tight. Little luck. Yeah. So, and this one actually, it says the wins are good for bats also. So this is a little annoying, but you know what? Let's do this. Let's actually rebuild and just get rid of all this. And we hit apply, and we end up with this. Okay. So that's going to be my advice. My advice. This is probably awful advice, but this is what I'm doing. How about that? So I'm just going to X these out. They look good on paper. So if you do get a rain out, I mean, it's going to really devastate like a lot of the field. So I kind of want to lean into that. So let's. So it looks as though Kansas City is going to be my main stack. Look about 82% of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo the lineups. Now again, this is a little bit different. What I did was I built first, then I X'd out these teams, but it's a little different process when you start by Xing out the teams. So what I'm going to do is X out the teams, but because now I'm only working off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, what I want to do is allow a couple of more stacks, like the 4 4s. I'll allow those. I think that's all I still want to allow. So let's allow those, and we're going to rebuild everything with those 2 games X'd out. And we're going to go autofill here. The other thing I have to do is to watch my video that Jordan made for the difference between direct fill and autofill again. But I do like the idea of autofill, so we're going to keep that. And we're going to prioritize the home run as being the tournament that gets the best lineups first, and then the ball 4, and then the bat flip. We really don't have too much of a window to late swap. We're going to anyway. So we don't care about the min uniques here. Very short slate. So we'll just save here. Now this is interesting. So it is unable to meet my current exposures. I guess this is fine. So 5 3s, 5 2s, 4 4s, 5 0s. It saved them all, and now I just have to download them. And the one thing I didn't do is check to see who I have. And that seems fair, right? I don't need to tell everybody exactly who I have, but at least it shows my process. Now let's do the same thing with FanDuel. FanDuel actually could show you what I have, right? They don't get mad at that. So let's actually do that. And I'm gonna change them anyway because of late swap. Now what I should do, honestly, I should with FanDuel not X these out, but I'm just kind of feeling it. So we're gonna X them out. So let's first upload our dummy lineups from FanDuel. Okay. So we will go back to build one. We'll X out. And again, this is just what I'm doing. You don't have to, obviously. And then we'll build. And again, let's see what stacks we're going to require. We're going to uncheck them all. And then we'll allow 4 4s, 4 3s, 4 2 2s, and even 4 2s. Okay. Because it's a shorter slate. We've made it a shorter slate. And we'll do 34,200, I guess, salary. And now we'll just build. So we're playing 50 liners, we're playing 50 in the lottery, and then 1 in the monster. Good thing is I'll be able to get this up by 12 o'clock. And you know what I'm going to do for you guys? Because of the confusion, I am actually going to share the projections here to at least see who rates to be the best stacks and the best pitchers and stuff. Again, who I have rated high is not exactly necessarily who I'm going to end up with. I don't even know who I'm ending up with. But so let's first do this. First, we'll do the builds, then I'll show you who I like. How about that? And I don't even know whether I'm playing who I like. One thing I did do, I should tell you, in golf is I full faded Scotty in the lottery. I just felt like it. This is golf, and there's no way that he should project like 25 points higher than everybody in a golf tournament. I just don't believe it. So I'm going to suffer in that one. All right, so we'll put the monster up here on top again so that the autofill will first give me the monster in order here. And then we will download these and upload them thusly. And that is literally my whole process, except for the fact of late swap, where I just basically do the same thing with updated ownerships and projections. So let's take a look and see who looked good here. Okay. Let's look at DraftKings pitching. It's actually pretty spread out as far as the pitchers go. I mean, you would think that Skeens would rate so much higher, but he's just not. You know, he's rates fine, but I wouldn't be surprised if I got a decent amount of all these other guys, because he's on Sheets value score, which is a pretty good determination of what people are going to play. It doesn't really stand out over these guys. He's only up 4 points, and it's going to be a really popular choice, as will Senga. So I'm kind of hoping that I ended up with some of these others, and I really think both those are pretty decent fades at ownership. Let's take a look at the stacks. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, when you rate them by modified stack score, the aforementioned Cardinals and Twins, for that matter, are 1-2. So operate at your own risk, Xing them out. But they do look to be the top two, followed by Texas and then Milwaukee. Milwaukee's carrying quite a bit of ownership here, at least in my work. As far as just raw points go, yeah, I guess where are they, in Colorado or something? How bad am I? I don't even know. It's pretty bad, right? Who does Milwaukee play? I don't have much of them here at FanDuel, so let me see. Who does Milwaukee play even? I presume they're in Colorado for them to be so popular. In Chicago? Really? I really hope I don't have too much of that. Who died and left Milwaukee? Huge chalk. Hmm. All right. So we'll see. So if I had to advise something on DraftKings and you weren't allowed to use an optimizer, I would say this. I would say fade Milwaukee, fade St. Louis, fade Minnesota, fade Cincinnati. Like these are the next ones. I would play Texas and Pitt. Those would be my two stacks. So Texas, Pitt would be my top two kind of contrarian options. And then as far as pitching goes, looks like I do have a bunch of Skeens, but I would get a little different here. I would play Shane Baz, maybe Jeffrey Springs, like pretty much anybody who except for Skeens and saying this. So it's going to be interesting to see what I get to, but I definitely think, at least based on my projections, notice your projections, that you can get a little kooky and be well within your rights today. On DraftKings. Now on FanDuel, real quick, and then I'll put all this up. Same thing, Skeens and Sane look okay, but I mean, not that great. And then as far as the hitting goes, again, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Pittsburgh again. Pittsburgh and Texas would be my two hoodoo teams on both sides, actually. All right, I guess that's it. Pretty awkward video, I know, the timing as well, but hopefully I get this up by 12 at least. Okay, that's it.